What is going on, guys? Blab here. I appreciate you stopping by. And without further ado, let's blab. Yes, this is a Pokemon channel. We are going to be speaking about Final Fantasy and Magic the Gathering as it correlates to everything in the cardboard space, including Pokemon. Anyway, this is a $1,200 box. 3 days ago, it was 1,000. 3 days before that, it was 800. 3 days before that, it was like 650, 700. So, if we look at the chart, you can go to the 3 month chart, trading at a low of 600 pre-sale, and in the last couple of days, it has skyrocketed. So, what does this mean? So, I don't exactly know. There's only a handful of boxes at 1,200. Then we go very quickly into 1,300, and then after that, 15, 16. There's not a lot of boxes left, is all I'm saying, and people are buying them quickly. Only 87 sellers, quantity of 200, selling 80 a day. So people are buying at this price. I was able to acquire some of this product, and it was kind of in an interesting way. This released exactly 1 week ago on June 13th. Today is June 20th. On the Monday after release, so we're talking, I don't know if the Friday was 13th, Saturday 14th, Sunday 15th, so we're talking the 16th. This was $830. At my local game store, it was $699.99 plus tax, so we're looking at like $735, $740. So for $740, I bought 2 boxes and dipped my toe in. I figured the downside was not too bad. Just a super hyped up set. Figured maybe I could make a play on it, right? So I dipped my toes in on the 16th at a price of $740. Then on the 17th, just a modest uptick, $20. The next day on the 18th, we go kind of parabolic to 1,000. So I run back to my local game store, and they actually had product. So I acquired 2 more boxes. I believe I traded some stuff in. Excuse me. But then I had to run home, grab some of my ultra modern Pokemon. I'm talking Prismatic, I'm talking Destined Rivals, I'm talking Surging Sparks, I'm talking stuff like that. And I went back to my local game store, traded all of it in at I don't even know, 70%, 80%, and got 2 more boxes. So 6 days after, we were already looking at $1,000. They were selling at $740, including tax. So at this point, I have a 6-box position at an average cost of $740, and we're looking at a $1,200 box. So that's great. In 3 days, we have $500 added to the value of the product, and it's actually selling. I don't know where this necessarily goes. I spoke to a different local game store, not the one that sold it to me, because I was actually talking about possibly selling 2 of the boxes, right, to cover part of the position. And he told me, we're not buying boxes at the moment, just because it's a super new release, but he highly recommends not to sell it. Now, I don't even mean to hyper FOMO. I'm literally just shill or whatever. But this person told me that they believe Lord of the Rings has kind of tainted their IP by some of the Hobbit releases, and the Lord of the Rings IP is just kind of down, but the box is still $1,800. So he's used Final Fantasy in a short time, sort of taking over that number 1 spot, meaning this would have to either climb to over $1,800 or Lord of the Rings would have to fall. Obviously, I think he meant that Final Fantasy would be $2,000 in no time, but I don't know, guys, because this is not exactly a healthy-looking chart. We like to say, this isn't a healthy-looking chart when it's, the inverse, but this is not a super healthy-looking chart, and I'll show you what I mean as we convert into the next IP, which is going to be Marvel. So this could be even bigger, right? And, $700 pre-sale, that seems like such a good price, right? But look at this explosion just in the last couple days, right? We're looking at 500, and then we bounce, frankly, to 700. There's sales at 700 just all day, right? So, I don't know. It's not like a really super. It's cool, right? Just making money out of thin air, but I don't know. I don't know where this stops. There's not that many There's a handful of 1200, then we go quickly to 1250, and then 300, a couple boxes, then 14, 1500. I mean, is this a $2,000 box like next week? Like, I don't know. And I don't know how I feel about that just being so super new to Magic. I do feel very confident that getting off of Prismatic and things that I've found in the wild. I mean, the idea was always to kind of churn through that, either looking for older sets, things that just appeal to me more. That was always the plan, to kind of move that hyper modern stuff, but to move it into this, I never really had that idea. Kind of was it was kind of just like off a whim when I got these first two, and then I was like, oh well, now it's $1,000 a box. Let's see if they still have them at 700, and they still did have a handful. And trust me, I went back for box 7 and 8, and they were eventually out. So it's my understanding that these collector boxes are never reprinted, or some possibly held back. I don't know. If you look at the Golden Chocobo tracker or whatever, it says 18 have been found. I assume that some have also been found in private. So if we put this at like 25 or 30, how does that correlate to the rip through rate? Who knows? You could rip 100 boxes and get 10 numbered chocobos, or you could rip open 1,000 boxes, 50,000 boxes, and get none. So it's hard to kind of correlate that, but I've just been listening to Alpha Investments and also just reading different articles and trying to understand, how Magic does their print runs, how Magic has done their releases. They are owned by Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, so, it is a publicly traded company. Just being, familiarizing myself with, the ideas of an Amazon dump and things like that. Just kind of learning as I go, because it is cool to buy a box of 700 and have it pop to 12 within a couple days, but really understanding why that's happening can kind of help in when to move product. Like I said, I'm trying to potentially get off 2 or 3 of my boxes just to cover the other ones, right? Like, yes, this could pop to 2,000 or maybe even 3,000. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, at this point, I'm just kind of rambling. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'd appreciate if you leave something in the comments. I'm just out here trying to learn. I talk all that rah-rah about Pokemon. I am pretty confident in it. I grew up on it, even though I just got back into it, 12, 18 months ago. I know a lot about it. That's kind of where I've been putting, my time and resources. So this is all new to me. Let me know. Are we buying this? Like, I'll buy this for 700 if it's sitting in my LGS. I'll tell you that right now. I'll buy it for 700. This could be bigger than this. And if this is bigger than Lord of the Rings, and then this is bigger than Final Fantasy, like, are we seeing boxes at like $3,000 like within the first couple months of release? I don't know. Or are we seeing this, right? $280. Or, is Assassin's Creed just a Garbo IP? I don't know. I don't think this is like a horrible buy right now. My LGS has this at 225. If I'm like, can I get 4 boxes for like 200? They'd probably do that, right? So just a couple things I'm looking at. Sorry, this is not a Pokemon video, but this is a investor scalpo, hyper shill, whatever you want to call it. I'm Blab, and I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.